Hello everybody, it's Garnet, and I'd like to talk to you about 3 reasons to use the Neurolite. These are general reasons, not highly specific, but I think if you take just anybody walking by that they would be able to fit into one of these 3 kinds of categories. So 3 reasons to use the Neurolite. I'd say the first one is that you've got a problem, that you're in trouble, that there's an issue that is really beginning to challenge and limit you, and you decide you've got to do something about this. So I think the first reason, or one of the reasons, that a person would use the Neurolite is they need some way of getting out of the trouble that they're in, the problem that they've got. And I'm not saying that it's a specific type, it's just that it's something that has come. It's interfering with your life, it's interfering with your relationships, it's interfering with your work, it's interfering just with living the way you want to live. So I suppose it could be like an overwhelming anxiety, or maybe, I don't know, what's usually depression, that would say, that's an obvious one. But it could also be, memory issues. It could be an inability to focus. It's something that comes along and you're just not able to problem solve the way that you need to in your personal life or in your professional life, even in your spiritual life, that there's a strong obstruction, there's some kind of friction or issue. So I'd say one reason to use the Neurolite, which of course is a tool, or I would say an instrument, that you can use to stimulate, to guide self-directed neuroplastic change. And certainly one of the ways that we can access the neuroplastic capacity of our brain is for immediate, significant problem solving, getting out of trouble. Now, of course, that can be very short-term or a longer-term issue. So it can be more to do with what we call the help right now, which is 1, 2, 3 days, or more brain shaping, which can be long-term. But in either case, the motivation, the goal is that you just don't want to have this problem interfering with your life as it is anymore. So that's number 1. The second reason to use the Neurolite, and frankly the second reason to get involved with neuroplasticity, is that you want to fortify, you want to stabilize. You're not motivated by a strong issue or a problem. It's not a trouble thing, but you know that it's wise to fortify your wellness, because things happen in life. And one thing, if you're fortunate, is that you're going to age, that you'll get older, and bit by bit you can see what happens in aging, especially advanced aging. So they say the best way to solve a problem is to prevent a problem. And this is a wide open area for neuroplastic dynamics, and is a wide open reason to use the Neurolite. You want to be strong, you want to be stable, you want to be dynamic, and you want to use this, you want to fortify, you want to work at a tonic level to in Taoism, what they would say is to work towards life cultivation, making it better. You're not trying to get out of the hole just up to neutral. You're wanting to make this neutral very strong and dynamic so that you can enjoy and be active and have the kind of results that you want during the life that you have. But also wisely, you're thinking about the future, the prevention. They say an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. And it's certainly much, much easier to prevent, especially when we're dealing with our brain. We know that the brain is ready, willing, and able to be better. Whatever the state of your brain is today, it can be better tomorrow. It can, it not will, but it can. Sometimes I say that our brain activity that is constant is like being in a car that never stops. Wouldn't it be great to have a steering wheel? So I see the Neurolite as an example of a neuroplastic instrument that is a bit like a steering wheel for your brain. And believe me, the brain is your body, their body is the brain. You really want and need your brain to be functioning at the good harmonious, dynamic level now for the sake of your life, but also as a strong preventative measure so that as aging occurs or disease comes along or injury or whatever it is, that you have the best ability to deal with that. So that's the second reason. The third reason is when a person takes that base, that fortified, stable, dynamic base, their wellness, their total brain wellness, and uses that as a kind of a launch pad for exploration, for expansion. They want to excel at something. Maybe it's that X factor, that extreme factor. And I don't mean necessarily in the adventurous, wild things that you see in extreme sports, but it's that hunger, that interest to climb that mountain, oftentimes spiritually, to really go into the depth of that exploration of that thing that we call life, me. And then also it can be in terms of dynamic performance and creativity. You know, that software developer, that musician, that mom that wants to homeschool, that person that wants to take the good things that they have and expand them. They want to be the explorer, excel, sometimes to limits that perhaps they didn't think they were capable of, but they have some sense are possible. So I see three general reasons to use the Neurolight, and these are three reasons that are made possible because of neuroplasticity. I've oftentimes said that the Neurolight is not important unless and until you understand neuroplasticity. When you understand neuroplasticity and how it relates to getting out of trouble, growing past a problem, working to create stability and strength and fortified dynamics and prevention, and also the ability to explore where no man or woman has gone before, that creative urge, that impulse for deep and profound experience, that these are three common aspects of the neuroplastic capacity of the brain. The ability for the brain to learn new things that it needs and wants, and to unlearn things or patterns that have been obstructions and getting in the way. So neuroplasticity is the dynamic, it's just the way our brain is, and the Neurolight is the way it is because the brain is the way it is. So think about it, think of these three: getting out of trouble, creating stability and prevention, and exploring new dynamic aspects of your creativity and yourself. These are, I think, three different general reasons to use the Neurolight. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.